Homes Committee agenda to order. It's Thursday, January 4th, 2018. And I'd like to welcome our viewing audience. Does anybody have a declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. We just have an information item today. And so I'm going to turn it over to our director.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Part of the information is just to advise you that a meeting on recruitment and retention took place on December 14th as part of our centralized scheduling initiative. Attending were the administrators for the homes, the chiefs, and the respective managers for these areas. During this meeting, we reviewed the current market trends for health human resource recruitment and retention. Amanda Maxwell took us through industrial trends of turnover and hiring pressures that are being experienced in Ontario. Realizing that looking at our particular struggles for recruitment, nursing and dietary are the two areas that are of greatest significance to us. Between 2014 and 16, we hired 66 staff at Gateway, and 31 are still with us. We've hired in that same period of time 100 at Bruce Lee Haven, and 35 staff are still with us. The process took us through an overview by Marianne Neuro of best practices learned through multiple industries on how to recruit and retain staff, and each one of the work units took us through how their recruitment practices have changed in the last 7 years, the role of centralized scheduling and how that we can assist better retention, as well as looking at the successes and challenges that exist within each one of the homes. We've distilled out a list from all of the inputs of things that we should start doing, stop doing, and continue doing with regarding to recruitment and retention. And in order to keep a better pulse on this, we've designed and implemented effective this coming Monday a specific set of key performance indicators for health human resource sensitivities so we can watch our recruitment and retention more effectively throughout the department. With regards to...
I'm just going to, before we move on, I'm going to see if anybody has any comments or questions regarding it. Okay, Kelly?
Through you, Madam Chair, I would like to highlight, as I suspect there is concern, as there is on a staff side, about our turnover factor, and the large, in terms of people, the large amount has been in the personal support worker part of the two long-term care facilities. And as always, we have, as you'll recall, a little over a year and a half ago when we first started talking about the adjustments to the structure for long-term care, that this is one of the items that has been really plaguing the department, and it's going to take us a long time to get through it and get it fixed. The only reassuring comment that I can make is that we are very much aligned with the other members in the Western Wardens group. So for counties that run from Simcoe to Windsor, they are experiencing the same level of turnover in their homes, and a large part of it is connected to an ability to start to offer full-time employment versus part-time employment. And one for our particular operations, we really we're doing good work in terms of advancing the scheduling piece, but that is a key issue that we have to get resolved, because good employees are frustrated, and they are demonstrating that frustration by going to work at other areas, other homes in the area, and we just have to get it resolved. So.
Does anybody else have anything? You said nurses are also, or nursing is a problem. So
nursing area, which would do.
Oh, that includes personal support workers? Okay, I thought they were a separate category. I think of an RN and an RPN as a nurse. and then personal support workers, but they're all one. Okay. Yes.
Michael, I'm sorry, could I have those numbers again, please? And what, of our total staff, what does that represent?
I'm sorry, so that second question?
Well, just give me the numbers there again.
Well, we looked at it, we went back between 2014 and 2016 to take a look at how many folks were hired.
Yes.
And how many remained of those hires.
Yes.
And it was, for Gateway Haven, it was 66 hired, 31 remain. And Bruce Lee Haven, 2014 to 2016, 100 hired and 35 of those still remain.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So we're talking at half at one, only half retention at one, basically, and a third retention at the other.
Yeah, and I bring that up not to be alarmist, but it was we were looking at trying to figure out how many people stay, why they stay, is there any changes, is there things that we can do to be, as an employer, more sensitive and more effective. There's many reasons that the homes have different challenges. Gateway Haven has a geographic advantage that it's closer to Owen Sound, where they have able to draw employees from. So I don't mean those to be alarmist numbers, but it was the kind of things that we were looking at to try to figure out what we're doing right and what we should do more of and less of, and how we can speed the process and make it more effective, and get rid of some common frustrations. It was a good day.
Just one other, so the second question was, so of the Bruce Lee staff, total complement, what is the total complement, Bruce Lee, 250 or? So, okay, yeah.
So I just have one more question. So you have no problems getting RN nurses or RPMs?
There's a challenge, and it's increased recently as our colleagues in acute care have begun to realize that personal care workers and registered practical nurses are extremely effective in the acute care setting. So now we have another competitive market where they're drawing down not just the long-term care facilities. So it's a challenge that, as Madam CAO has said, that we're all experiencing due to aging workforces, people retiring, people not entering the profession, and then, of course, more demand on our services as patients become more complex inside the homes.
Sorry to ask one more question, but
Sure.
Are our wages competitive to hospital nursing? Very competitive, or?
I'll jump in if you wish, Michael. Our negotiation is directly connected to the hospital sector, so we are very competitive.
Good, thanks.
Our other item, Madam Chair, is the fact that we have now opened a sensory room, has been completed at Bruce Lee Haven. You'll remember that just prior to the end of 2017, Bruce Lee Haven was fortunate enough to install this room. This room was funded by the generous donations of the Retired Bell Employee Volunteer Program, as well as donations from family and friends. The $35,000 project will serve many residents, particularly those with Alzheimer's, dementias, acute brain injuries, and mental health diagnosis, and special needs, other special need populations. Some of the benefits of this particular room is it will allow patients to experience a decrease in agitation, improved sleep, increased focus and concentration, heightened awareness and alertness, and to calm them or to provide them with a calming and relaxing environment at times where their acting out has previously posed challenges to their care. So we're very thankful for the funders of this, and the room is now up and running. The last item, Madam Chair, is that we were given the opportunity by Grey Bruce Public Health earlier in the Christmas season to tape messages for public service announcements to be broadcast in the area, reminding visitors to our homes that we'd love to see you, but we want to see you healthy and without any concerns with flu or colds coming into our homes. Heather Penny did a wonderful job Based on our experience, the experience was successful as to date. We've had no outbreaks over the holiday season. So we thank them for that opportunity, and that's it for me, ma'am.
Does anybody have any other comments or questions? Yes, Mel?
Just on that sensory room for Bruce Lee, it sounds like an interesting concept.
I'm sorry, sir?
The sensory room?
Yes.
It sounds like an interesting concept.
Yes.
And that was at Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yes.
So for Gateway, if it's successful?
At Gateway, we don't have one of these rooms at this time, sir.
No, but if we, is there any evidence that these are successful?
Yes. Now, I can't quote you the literature, but they are successful. It allows a level of activity and physical manipulation of things from locks to lit streamers, if you would, that relax people and give people who are need that kind of distraction. It provides that to them in multiple ways, light, sensory, and smell. So they, I can't speak to its origins in science, but it's, in my experience, a sought-after resource in both acute hospitals and long-term care.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about getting one at Gateway as well, if it's possible somehow.
We can certainly explore that, Madam Chair.
If there are no more comments or questions, then that was for information. And our next meeting is February the 1st, 2018, and I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Robert and second by Mike. All in favor?